So I've been on this AI annotation field for quite a long time. And in all these years of working as a not just AI annotator, as a search engine evaluator, because I've worked on UHRS, I've worked on the website that preceded UHRS, not preceded, but before I knew about UHRS. So I've been on this freelancing field and annotation field for a very long time. And in all these years, I would say it has done a lot of good to me because as a fresh graduate from the university, I was not able to land a job. So these annotation gigs were what I sustained myself with. In fact, I saved enough after UHRS to be able to start my masters. So I give a lot of the credits to these gigs. So even if I have a lot of grievance about them, I still know yes, they did a lot for me personally. But here are the dark sides I have seen so far working as an AI annotator, especially as an African. These are things that I've observed and reason why I'm putting enough effort these days to try to channel my time and my capacity to something else and not giving these AIs everything I have. The first major thing I've noticed so far working on these projects is how repetitive, boring, and time consuming they can be. Trust me, it may look like something cool, it's an easy way to make money, but you keep doing something repetitive and it starts affecting you. It starts affecting your balance between this work and your real life because you're trying to make the most out of a website that pays you in cents. So you spend a lot of time doing repetitive tasks on a daily basis. But wait, this is not even the worst part because you knew about this before you signed up for this website. You needed money. So it's more like, yeah, I am ready to trade my time for this. But it quickly gets to a point where it becomes an obsession. You see yourself in a kind of cycle of working just because these jobs are available and you want to give in your all, you want to give in everything about you, you just want to work and you just get notification that jobs are available, you rush back, you put on your computer, you carry your phone and you start working and it's just like your whole life is becoming like revolved around these annotation things. And this is one very draining part of working as an AI annotator. One of the biggest things I've noticed so far working as an AI annotation expert or working as a AI trainer and even search engine evaluation jobs is that there's a very terrible and poor treatment of Africans in this community. I think we just have to say it. We just have to call it straight. It is terrible. I don't understand something called geographical arbitrage, where companies would want to seek people from low-income countries and pay them to complete jobs that, if they originally pay people from their country, they're going to charge them more. I don't understand that concept. And to some extent, it works to our own advantages. But sometimes some companies just go overboard with this. Let me give you an example. Imagine a company paying $55 for someone in the US and paying that same role for someone in a country like Nigeria, $10. And you're telling me that it's a difference between geography. Now, even if that person in Nigeria has more expertise than the person in the US, you will notice that the person in the US will still be paid far more. So we have situations where I know I am very much qualified, I have good educational background, good experience, but there's one person in the US that has very little experience, not close to what I have, and she's earning like times 5 of what I'm earning per hour. So it is very unfair for us because, see, don't think I'm naive. I understand cost of living. I understand economic difference. I understand economic power. I understand even that these technologies are more relevant in those contexts because AI and technology adoption in some of these third world countries is still very poor. I do understand this concept, but some companies manage this better. Now, take for example, a company like Pareto, which I think is the best in managing these kind of situations. They do pay in some tax. First world countries, they pay them around $35. Then they pay people in the third world countries $25. Very fair. $10 difference is a logical difference that yes, you live in a more expensive economy than these people. So yes, cost of living, you should have some incentive to measure up for that. So I prefer when a company actually puts in account expertise over just location. Apparently, many of these companies, I don't want to mention them, but if you've been in this field, you do know some of these companies that does this. They put a lot of emphasis on location over expertise. So irrespective of the fact that you're more qualified, you can produce more quality data, you can do more better work than these other persons from these countries, all for the fact that you're not in that country, you get underpaid. So this is one of my major grievances I have with this whole annotation and online working so far. Apart from being underpaid as an African or someone working from a third world country or perhaps countries like India, is that you will notice if there are opportunities for promotion, you don't get them. There's very little or next to no opportunity for growth. So it is possible for example, I've been working on Mindrift for more than a year, close to 2 years now. And I started with a $6.2 per hour pay scale. And this is like 2 years, and that pay scale has not been upgraded. This is very terrible, like very terrible. 2 years. working with like producing quality data for 2 years, and this pay scale have not been upgraded. So there is no inclusion of expertise in their consideration for payment. They theoretically talk about it on their website on LinkedIn that payments may increase according to your expertise, but there's no opportunity for that. There's like complete marginalization of some certain sets of people, and preferences are given to some particular sets of people. And like I said, it is very okay to do this when you're considering holistic qualifications and location, when you're considering qualification and expertise, not when it's all about location. Like everything, you're just banking on location. You live in a first world country, you live in the US, let's pay you $55. You live in Nigeria, let's pay you $6. It just doesn't make sense. Now, whenever there seems to be a position where somebody in the team is like upgraded from maybe a regular annotator to a project lead, which happens once in a while in some of these websites I've worked with or these companies, if you check it, it's never an African. In fact, so far I've been working on this AI annotation project, I have never seen an African in the position of a team lead. You have to ask yourself, sometimes you just have to ask yourself, does it mean we are not qualified? Then you go ahead and check these team leads and these people, project managers on LinkedIn, and you see the degrees you have better degrees than these people. You do have the qualification than these people, but why is it that you never get that room for growth? So there is next to no room for growth working with most of these AI companies. And at a point, you just get fed up. You just start feeling like, I think I deserve more than just what these people are giving to me. There's the issue of payments and ID card verifications. So you don't accept the ID card that is like NIN, the national ID card of Nigeria. You don't accept it. You require me to have a driver's license, a voter's card, or an international passport. Sometimes even voter's card don't work. So basically, you want an international passport and a driver's license. And what makes you feel like I have these documents? The most common document for verification in the country is national ID card. Why don't you accept the national ID card of a country? Many jobs, Uber does not accept national ID card. Eru also does not accept national ID card. It's so terrible. Like, why would you not accept a country's national ID card? Then there is PayPal. To crown it all, it does not work in Nigeria. So we can basically send money with PayPal, we can purchase things with PayPal, but we can't receive money with PayPal. What is your reason? Fraud. These countries have high rate of fraud, so you are trying to limit. Does that make sense? Does that not show a level of ineptitude for an international payment system? You can't manage something as tribal as fraud because it's your system. You can't manage it within your system. So we have companies like Payoneer working functionally well in Nigeria, and you PayPal, you claim to be the biggest international payment system, and you can't work in Nigeria claiming it's fraud. And many companies, they know very well that PayPal does not work in Nigeria, and they don't want Nigerians and many of these countries that PayPal does not work in to participate in these roles, while they still want to bear the old tag of it's an international opportunity. We are a big data company. So you know what they do? They would rather use PayPal as a payment medium. So it's not our fault that PayPal does not work in your country. It means this opportunity is not available for you people. So there's this systemic marginalization from from so many companies that claim that they're international companies. Again, speaking of marginalization, it just feels like there are so many companies in this whole AI annotation and general remote working crowdsourcing field that don't really care about the applicants and the people working for them. How would you prioritize a job on LinkedIn and you advertise this job? Example, what Telos is doing with the linguist review that they are shortlisting people in Ghana, South Africa, Nigeria, and Kenya. You're putting this job as a priority on LinkedIn, and people have submitted the application for 2 weeks. You don't get back to anybody, and possibly they will remove it and they will not get back to anybody. Trust me, I know they have not gotten back to people because I'm deeply entrenched in the freelance and remote working community. So I would know if they have shortlisted some persons. So you don't get back to anybody, no feedbacks, and sometimes it just happens like this. You submit applications, nobody gets back to you like this is the reason we are not shortlisting. They just shut up like your time is nothing. So it's your responsibility to keep submitting these applications. We can go ahead and just post the job and make you spend your time to make the applications. And it's terrible for me as a creator because it makes me feel like I did a video and I told people to apply for this and you didn't shortlist them. A few years ago, one company was very annoying for flagging accounts. And it just made me wonder like how fickle and how uncertain these jobs are. You may think, oh, I've gotten an annotation job with this company and I'm making some certain like good amount of money for myself, but you're just a 1099 contractor. You are not employed by this company. There is no allowance for you. There is no sense of insurance of any sort for you. You're completely just a freelancer with a freelancer contract. So these companies can just flag your account sometimes with money in it, and there's nothing you can do. Absolutely nothing. And you write to their support and they'll tell you that they have taken a final decision. Sometimes no good explanation. They just tell you a clause of their agreement that you violated this. And you're trying to explain, I have not violated any clause in your agreement. You are with my money. Please pay me my money. But these companies will not pay you your money. I have people that have lost money on Clickworker. I have people that have lost money on Mindrift. I have people that have lost money on a lot of these websites, and they don't pay. And I'm like, why? Why can't we appeal for this? You can't just take final decisions that is concerning your users. And it's very unfair sometimes when you work with these companies. And sometimes it just gets to a point where you're like, damn, I can't carry on with this. I can't just keep up with this style of work forever. And these are one of the common grievances that I've always had working with these companies. Another very common grievance I've had over the years working on this nature of jobs is just the uncertainty and unstable nature of these gigs. So you're going to have the work today and you just start working, you give it your all, and tomorrow it's finished. No jobs. You keep searching. That is why I urge you guys always to just keep submitting this application. Don't feel like I've gotten 2 jobs and I'm okay. Get them down. I know what I'm telling you. Because when you need this thing the most times, that is when there will be no jobs. And you just be there waiting for them to post a job. Sometimes it will never come. If you've been an OG in this game and you did UHRS, remember how you know the experience we gained from UHRS? I gained very harsh experience. I needed money that period, but there was no jobs anymore. UHRS jobs just vanished. So it is very unstable, it is very uncertain. You're working in a gig, in a career line that just isn't certain, and it just gets to a point where you just want to give up. I will tell you for real, this is not a very big concern for me, but it is something that is always at the back of everyone's mind. It is the fact that we are working in a kind of domain where we are helping to train AIs to take over our jobs in the future. There's no way to sugarcoat it. AI is going to take out a lot of jobs. It's going to create position opportunities, but still a lot of people are going to, like, see, if you been in Upwork before AI came in, you will notice that there were lots of writing jobs on Upwork. Then if you log into your Upwork and you are a writer, you will see countless writing jobs on Upwork. But you got to a point now that if you go to Upwork and you're a writer, you will see very few jobs. Where do you think those jobs go? Most of them have been automated. Most of them you just prompt AIs and now you just need editors. So it took away a lot of jobs. And you're working in this domain that you know that yes, one day you are going to train this thing to the extent that it will not even need you anymore. In fact, already there is something called ROLHF, which is reinforced learning and human feedback, where AIs have grown to the point where they are so perfect now that what they need are particular experts to help train them. And you are already getting obsolete already. These major research labs no longer need you to come and tell them which response is better. These are just some of these things that I think about as an annotator. It gets frustrating, and I need to find a way to transition out of these gigs. And this is why I've been putting a lot of effort on this YouTube channel. I've been seeing YouTube as an opportunity to not only be a creator, but be someone that contributes more than just sharing these jobs. I have a lot of plans for this channel. In fact, I've gotten a lot of sponsorships. I've gotten 3, not a lot. And I've rejected all these sponsorships for one particular reason. I think these sponsors are looking for a way to monetize my audience, and this is something I'm completely against. I'm not doing these videos as a way to seek monetary opportunity directly from who is viewing my content. This is why you will not see me post any opportunity that require you to buy VPN, any opportunity that require you to spend any sort of money. No, I'm not into it. And this is why I also don't create this course, because this thing many new YouTubers do nowadays, that they will just create a course, 5 hours course, then tell you guys to buy it for like $4, and they start making money from their course, because everybody knows how to monetize people nowadays. It's not what I don't strongly believe in things like that. Everything I'm sharing on my YouTube are what I know to share. So even if you come to me personally, there's no extra thing I want to share for you. So this is just a very laid back video to explain my grievance I have with these companies. Thanks guys for watching, and continue supporting the channel.